In this episode, we hear from Lady Lee, a business owner from Puerto Rico. She shares with us the struggles and difficulties of keeping a business alive after Hurricane Maria and through this season of COVID. She shares with us her experience and maybe some of the things that people should consider when they're going to help. Stay tuned.
With the mindset of what is happening in Puerto Rico now and what's happening with the people of Puerto Rico that left and maybe some have come back, and like, what do you see as the need for the community right now? Let's just talk economically.
Okay, business.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of support out there, like grants and everything for artists and for businesses, but what they ask for in return, like the paperwork, writing, giving these whole statements. I think that it's already hard enough to work day by day. You have, people who are working probably 2 jobs and sometimes 3. And even if you're an owner of a small business, that means your work doesn't stop. You take work home. And do you need this help? Yes. You would be like, oh, thank you. I think it should just be bypass all of the bureaucracy and get straight to the point and help directly. Like, here's help. And then maybe after that help, request the paperwork, because that help is what's going to give the person the time to reestablish themselves and get out of what, that fear zone of anything can happen and your business can be taken away for any second, or because you cannot keep up with all the demands that were put in place before Maria, before COVID. They haven't changed that system, so that system is still a monster, and yet you can't feed it. So the help comes, and then the list of all the things you have to do to get that help, it differs. You're like, oh my God, that means I have to do this, and where and how. I still have a family to feed. I still have bills to pay. I don't have time to do it. It's not arrogance. It's really, I wish I could. And then you have to maybe hire someone to do it for you, but you don't want to. It's supposed to come from you. So there's no time for that. So as a business, just knock on these business doors. You shouldn't, it's obvious which businesses need help, and especially one that has to do with the arts. It's obvious. So, and the fact that they're still in business, kudos, because it is literally a maze and a juggling act that people don't see just by walking through the doors. So, in that sense, I think that would be my goal. I say it because I'm facing that. I see all these helps coming, in the newspapers or in social media and everything. When I click on it or whatever, in the middle of the night because of sometimes you can't sleep because you're worried, and then you're like, oh, this would be great. I think I qualify for this. And then when you see all of the things that they need, you're like, you know what? I can't. And you just let it go. Like if you never heard of it, right? Because it's better to just erase it, because then that's another thing that will keep you from sleeping. Yes, that's a business question.
No, that is so good. That is, honestly, I think that's what our heart is, that we are revealing the truth of what's really happening here. And so this is why we want to eliminate the gray area. What's the truth of the situation? What's really happening here? And so we can imagine, especially for artists, which it's a consumable product, right? And so you have to have the consumers for the product. And so obviously with COVID and shutdowns and limited travel and limited tourism, I'm sure that affects your business. Oh, yeah. And so how have you found, this is a perfect example of your resourcefulness. Mm-hmm. The space that we're in is a coffee shop.
Yes.
And you've converted it to a pop-up.
And the people come in that are, because Puerto Rico right now has this tax law that allows very wealthy people not to have to pay taxes. So they come and they see this as like if it was a board game, and they literally, their mind is clear and they have great ideas and beautiful and whatever, right? But it doesn't match up to the facts. Like when they come in here and they say that they've, like for example, in my coffee shop, they'd come in and say, oh, your coffee shop's closed, why don't you rent it to me? And I'm like, no, because I really want to keep it homegrown. I want to, I'm not trying to insult the wealthy. That's not my thing. I think that they need to have a little more consciousness of where they're coming into and what they're offering to the locals, because that makes it's not about when they say I want to help you to take from you. That is not help. You know, like for example, when I was struggling after Hurricane Maria to keep my building because I paid a mortgage, their idea of help was buying the building from me and renting it to me at a lower cost. And I'm like, that's not help. That's taking advantage. You don't see it that way. In your eyes, you see it as I'm helping you. They're not going to steal your business, and then you're going to have your poet's passage. No, it puts me in another threat because I'm no longer in control of my building, and nowhere do I say my building is for sale. And I'm not selling it, and then because I don't fight that, I become the bad guy. So it's like I'm being kind. I know that your ignorance is not on purpose, but it still doesn't take away the fact that it is, it does cause that effect. And if it happens to me here in the old city, in the heart of Old San Juan, I can imagine that that's the same principle that is being used around the island, and it's just wrong.
If you made it to this point in this video, we just want to say thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, share this video with people that may need it. And we also ask you to lift up Puerto Rico in prayer for all those people that are struggling with their businesses, that still have damage from Hurricane Maria, the issues of the current pandemic, of course, affecting everyone in the world, but tourist places probably the most. And we would just encourage anyone that is originally from Puerto Rico to keep them in your prayers, to see maybe how you can come alongside your homeland, how you can help, what you can do to encourage them to build back up Puerto Rico to the way it was, or even better. And that's such a great place to visit, such a great place to live, and wonderful people of Puerto Rico. And we just want to say thank you. God bless you. We'll see you around.